Beautiful,
Cool.
beautiful.
So what are we doing?
Andy, well, I have a YouTube channel. It's Guitars United.
Great.
And so basically what's going on is we are guitar freaks. You know, we just love Taylors.
All right, that makes two of us.
Yeah, we love Taylors. And gosh, you know, Bob at the Summer NAMM, he was just like, man, Andy. And he was like, I can't express to you how much Andy. And so, so anyways, we saw you there last time, but it really didn't click. I was like, I didn't really know who you were, you know, and things are just kind of changing.
I'm just a guy. I'm a guitar guy.
Yeah. A guitar dude putting out a lot of guitars and a lot of cool guitars.
Thank you.
But
I'm stoked I get to play them, get to build them.
Yeah.
Do all sorts of stuff with them.
Yeah, gosh, it's awesome, man. Well, what do you see as? I mean, how did you fall into this position?
Well, I started building guitars when I was a little boy. My dad's a carpenter, and both my parents are hobbyist musicians. And so when I was young, I fell in love with the guitar. I'd actually started on piano when I was, you know, a tiny little kid. But the guitar was really the thing. I like the shape of it. I like the songs that my parents played on it.
Portability.
I just liked, honestly, I liked the shape of guitars. I thought that was really neat. And like I said, I liked the songs and the sounds that came out of the guitar that we had at our house. And you know, being around woodworking, I tried building a guitar. One day my dad brought home a scrap of wood that was big enough for me to cut a guitar shape out of. I had an idea, I'll build a guitar. That sounds like fun.
That's so cool.
So I tried to build it, and I didn't realize what was going on inside. So I scrounged up some tuners from local music shops and that kind of thing, got it put together, was tuning it up, and the whole thing just imploded. It blew up into a million pieces.
So the beginning.
Yeah. It was kind of a big bang, sort of a beginning.
Remember any of the woods or anything?
It was.
Whether it's carpentry, maple, cherry.
Yeah, it was a piece of poplar actually. I mean, not really guitar wood, but I didn't realize there was braces on the inside. And yeah, I was maybe 7, 8 years old, something like that.
That's so cool.
So
man.
I was a kid, and so.
Dabbling back then.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, if something blows up, that's kind of as good as if it had worked. You know, you're a little
fun.
boy. It's like, oh, it blew up. That was kind of awesome, actually.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. So from there, it was like a habit that I couldn't quit.
What was your influence? Was it? I mean, you said was your dad playing? Or?
Yeah, both my parents they're hobbyist musicians.
Cool.
So my dad plays some mandolin and some dobro, and my mom plays piano and a little guitar. And there was a lot of music around our house. A lot of their friends were musicians. So fast forward a couple of years, by the time I was in my mid-teens, I was building custom instruments for people and selling them, doing repairs for all the local music shops, restorations.
That's what we do. We're a mechanical shop.
That's awesome.
We love the science of guitars.
Yeah, so I was doing that aside from playing a bunch of different styles of music on different instruments and different bands and that kind of thing.
Evolving always.
Yeah, it's just always guitars. Sometimes dobro, pedal steel, mandolin, other stuff. But by the time I finished with music school, I realized, well, gosh, I couldn't quit even if I wanted to, because I have a several-year waiting list for new instruments. All my bills are paid. I absolutely love what I'm doing.
7-year waiting list?
It was, I forget what it was at the time. It was several years.
How long ago was that?
I was, I guess I would have been about 22 then.
Gosh.
And so that would have been 10 years, 11 years ago, something like that.
That's awesome, man. What a great thing.
Yeah, so I built guitars. That was what I did. I built and restored instruments and played music. And then a number of years ago now, I ended up playing here at the Taylor booth at a NAMM show with a friend of mine. We were doing kind of a 2-guitar thing, and he's got a really great voice. So we were playing, and Bob and I got reacquainted. We had met each other years before.
Sure.
And then a while after that, he approached me with the idea of, let's work together, because for the coming generation, I don't want Taylor Guitars to just be a corporation that's making widgets. This is a guitar company that's driven by a guitar maker. This is the right thing to do. Yeah. He's like, you're a better builder than I am. You're a much better player than I am. You're from here. You're less than 30 years old, and you have more than 20 years experience. Like, It's like, this is what we're going to do.
You're the future, yeah. And you got a lot of time left to innovate.
That was the idea, is that a whole nother generation can go by and we will be the guitar company that's driven by a guitar maker who knows how to sharpen a set of chisels, stand at a workbench with a part of a tree and turn it into a guitar.
Yeah.
Play it and know, this is a good guitar.
Yeah, I was talking with Dana Bourgeois earlier. We had probably about a 15-minute interview there, and
he's a great builder.
Oh man, I just highly respected. I've been doing his repairs and stuff for a long time, 15, 20 years. And so, anyways, Dana was telling me about how he got into it and stuff like that. And it was very, very similar type of story. It's just it's amazing. What I'm seeing across the board. Is just awesome.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun for me because over the years, the guitar making world is pretty small. So you meet the other makers, and there's not that many other guys you can talk shop with, or who can sympathize at times. You go, oh man, I had this machine break, or I had this go wrong. Oh yeah, it's happened to me too. And here's how I fixed that, or trade ideas and things. So some of those guys, Dana and I have been friends for a long, long time.
Really?
Same with Bill Collings, Richard Hoover, and it's a wonderful thing to be part of that guitar building community and share ideas, even though everyone's doing their own thing and on a different scale. From someone like me who had started as literally a one-man shop building one instrument for one musician and working that way, now to come to the other side and go, okay, I'm going to take this idea, this guitar that I want to build, and I'm going to work real closely with Bob using his expertise
40 years
and my expertise as a guitar builder, and we're going to combine our knowledge and be able to scale this guitar onto a level where we can afford to put it into the hands of a lot of musicians. Because something like this new guitar, well, this has a lot of stuff that you would see coming out of a one-man shop, but put into a context where a lot of musicians could afford to buy this and use this as a gigging instrument. That's what this thing is for. It's to play music on.
Yeah, Taylor's
and it's not going to be a crazy expensive instrument that's out of the means of a professional musician.
Yeah, no doubt about it, buddy.
Yeah.
So what are some of the changes you made on the 600 series this year?
It started as a desire to use more maple, because when we look at the future and we think, okay, well, given 20 years time or 40 years time, what forests are going to be able to supply us with wood? Like, I know what the forests around the world are like. I know their condition. I know how they're managed. And I look at the maple forest and think, okay, that's where it's going to be, because those forests are well managed. They're sustainably harvested. And then you have someone like Steve McMinn, our spruce cutting partner. Well, he's spearheading some work to actually propagate instrument-specific trees and grow those, so that in 40 years' time we can have guitar-specific maple trees. With really great figure, good grain, the right kind of thing. So I go, okay, well, that's amazing. Farm-to-table guitar making, I'm in. That sounds wonderful.
That means a logical progression.
Yeah, but that means that now I need to build an instrument that's a more broadly appealing maple guitar, because I want a wider variety of players to appreciate this just as an instrument and not go, oh, that's maple, it's kind of a limited use sort of thing, it's a distinct flavor. I want it to be a primary instrument for someone.
Yeah.
So to that end, I wanted to build something that worked with the unique quality of maple. A little more rich, a little more expressive, and retain maple's unique kind of player reflective quality. I want it to be the type of instrument that sounds like what a person does. If they play it bright, it should be bright. If they play it dark, it should be dark and warm.
Yeah, I agree.
If they play it loud, it should be loud.
Yeah.
Those kinds of qualities, because that's an area where where maple really excels.
Yeah. You know, usually when people are buying Taylors, they know what they're getting into. You know, these things, this is, you know, $2,000-3,000 price point. You know, you want to make sure you're getting what you want at that price point.
Yeah, I love when a player can go into a shop, pick up an instrument, and go, okay, this is the right one for my music. This is what I want to play. And I want more and more of those musicians to be choosing a maple instrument.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We love them. We love them.
Yeah, so I changed a lot of stuff internally, mostly with the bracing and the architecture inside the guitar, including a torrefied spruce top. I like the way that process works with these particular tops at a certain way with raw spruce braces. It's a certain combination that I find flatters the piece of maple. You know, it's a special seasoning process that I'm working through for the maple to make it a little more resonant and a little more stable than it's been before, as well as this ultra thin finish. Putting the
I love that.
The bracing is all put together with a traditional protein glue, stuff like that. You know? Cool.
So just, you know, I'm sure you guys are just having prototype after prototype after prototype.
Yeah, see, we do quite a bit of that, but a lot of times it's to work through, say, small cosmetic details and go, okay, well, let me look at this for a while. Do I still like the way that guitar looks after a few weeks? I think I want the binding to be maybe 10 thousandths wide.
You gotta have that kind of eye for it, huh?
Yeah, and just, you know, you kind of live with it for a while and go, is that composition right? You know, because as a builder, in this case, I knew right off the bat what I wanted to accomplish. So I deliberately built that guitar. I went, okay, here's what it is. This is what I need to do. Now I'll work out from there and go, how do I do this on a larger scale? Yeah. In our case, it meant a lot of new tooling, new machinery, things like that to accomplish what we needed to do to make this guitar really good. Is it better than you ever imagined? You know, it's, in all honesty, it's exactly what I was hoping it would be. That's interesting. It is what I was imagining the guitar would be. Because when I built the first one, I went, okay, that's what it needs to sound like. You know, it was a grand auditorium that I started with. And then I expand out and go, okay, a grand symphony. We'll have an ever so slightly different bracing pattern, slightly different thickness of the parts, because I'm looking to emphasize its unique musical personality. Yeah. They play two different roles, they have two different personalities. So, even though they might have all maple. Yeah, there's similar materials and a lot of similar construction details, you know, with using protein glue and this ultra thin finish and whatnot, but they're not the same guitar, and I don't want them to be the same guitar. Yeah, it makes sense. If I'm 6'10" and I have a jacket and I hand it to someone who's 5'2", well, that jacket's not going to fit very well, is it? No. Okay, so a brace or a top that fits maybe a grand orchestra, that isn't the same part that fits a grand concert. Yeah. Two different personalities. It's not appropriate. It's a good way of looking at it, no doubt about it. Anything else, buddy? What else is going on? Anything else? Oh, always. More guitars, playing a lot of music. Just making lots of guitars. Making lots of guitars. Yeah. There's always something cooking. How many guitars is Taylor making a year? All their lines? Last year, we produced 144,000 guitars. It's amazing. That's a lot of strings to change. But gosh, I never get bored with it. I do so many a day. I still don't get bored with it. Absolutely. Yeah, it's awesome. And plus, with Taylors coming through, we got tons of videos on Taylors, but yeah, we love our Taylors, man. Oh, thank you. Bob was telling me in the summertime, you guys were making 200 GS Minis a day. Yeah. That is just unreal. Yeah. Unreal. All told, by the time it's said and done, right now we're building about 750 guitars every day. It's amazing. It's a lot of guitars. Huh. But as a builder, it makes me so happy that there are that many people who are enjoying playing music. Yeah. Because it used to be that I would build the guitar, or I'd get a piece of wood, I'd build the guitar, and then I would put it in the hands of a player and enjoy that. It was the whole cycle of the instrument building process. Everything from part of a tree to putting it in the hands of the musician and listening to it. Now what's a little different for me now is that I'll go to the forest, I'll select the material, I'll process the material, build the guitar, design it, get it producible, finish the guitar, put it in the hands of dealers, but the guitar isn't finished there. It's not done until it's in the hands of a musician. Because if no one's playing it, it doesn't sound like anything.
It's
right?
just art.
It's just a thing. It's not actually finished until it's given its voice, and someone chooses that instrument and makes music with it.
That's so interesting. I like your aspect on things, bud.
So to me, it's incredibly valuable to be with our dealers and retailers. I love when a musician goes in person into a shop, selects that guitar and goes, this is the voice that I want to use to express my music.
Yeah.
That's when a guitar is done. So
it's a great way of looking at it.
Really fortunate to have our dealers and those people who help us actually put these instruments out into the hands of the musicians.
Yeah.
Because even that's part of the guitar building process.
Huh. Such a great way of looking at it, buddy. Gosh. Well, now I see what Bob's interested in you is, man. So, gosh, congratulations, man. Gosh.
Thank you.
I mean,
I'm fortunate to keep building guitars.
It's an amazing thing.
It's a real strong addiction that I couldn't quit.
God. Yeah, I plan on repairing guitars until I can't move my fingers anymore. So.
Good plan.
Or I can't see properly.
Good plan. So. I invested in real strong glasses early on. Gotta
get them changed constantly.
Yeah, man. Yeah. You bet.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Andy, for your time, sir.
It's my pleasure.
Yes, sir.